So guys, we're going to be going over to Australia in a local neck of the woods to go around and talk about a Queensland schoolgirl threatened with suspension after refusing to stand for the national anthem. And people actually might be surprised with my response on this. But let's jump into it. So guys, obviously I'm joined by Satellite of Discontent, as we all know. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
So a bit of debate is unfolding after the 9-year-old Brisbane girl refused to stand for the national anthem, with Pauline Hanson calling her a brat. We do have that. Correct. Yeah, well, we do have that video. We will play that for you guys now, so you understand what we're talking about.
Well, this morning I put up a post about a 9-year-old who won't stand for the national anthem. Well, the school is saying, okay, well, you don't have to be there. You can leave the hall. But no, she's determined to actually stay there because she wants to make a point. And because her parents are right behind her. She's proud of her, good on her for standing her ground on this thing. But the whole fact is, there are rules in this country. I remember going to school and we actually had the national anthem, raise the flag, and it's about who we are as a nation. It's part of us, who we are. And she says, well, it's not including Aboriginals. They were here 50,000 years ago. It's not, and we're not young and free. What about the Aboriginals? It's not about that. You know, I've been fighting for 22 years for equality for everyone, to be inclusive. Here we have a division that's happening. Here we have a kid is being brainwashed. And I tell you what, I'd give her a kick up the backside. I've got problems with standing your ground, and you know I do. But we're talking about a child who has no idea of what is history, what is happening, what we should do and what we need to do to pull everyone together, regardless of their cultural background. We are all Australians. This is divisive. And I don't know what the other kids around her are thinking. But where is it coming from? I'm hearing from too many people that feel our kids are being brainwashed in our educational system, this transgender sex stuff, this safe schools problem of this divisiveness now, that there's the Aboriginals, it's them and us. What the hell is going on? I'm angry about this. I'm proud of the Australian flag. I'm proud of the fact of, you know, the national anthem, as everyone should be. And so was Cathy Freeman. We were all proud of her. You know, her cultural background, the Aboriginality, and the whole fact she carried the two flags. She stood at the podium with the national anthem being played. Have they told this kid that? Has she spoken to these people? What about Warren Mundine? I've got a lot of time for Warren Mundine. There's great, you know, people of different cultural backgrounds, Aboriginality. They want to see inclusiveness, but this kid is headed down the wrong path, and I blame her parents for it, for encouraging this. No, take her out of the school.
Okay. So, a 9-year-old schoolgirl is facing suspension after she refused to stand for the Australian national anthem. Harper Nelson, a student at Kenmore South State School in Brisbane, decided to protest against Advance Australia Fair, saying it was not inclusive of Indigenous Australians. The Courier Mail newspaper broke the story about the 4-year-old student, the Year 4 student, and how the school told her she had to stand or leave the building. When she refused to do either, the school handed the Year 4 student a lunchtime detention for blatant disrespect. She was then told that she could not leave the office until she had signed a written apology and that she could be suspended. The issue this morning has sparked a bit of debate on radio and on TV. Shock jock Alan Jones, controversial commentator Mark Latham said Harper was defying the school. Quote, "We used to have special schools for children with behaviour problems," Mr. Latham said on our 4BC radio show. "Not standing is a behavioural problem, so kick her out." Jones was also furious about the Brisbane school's decision. Quote, "What on earth do you do other than call the parents in and say, listen, these are the rules here. If you don't like them, you do as you say or we go somewhere else because now we're not accommodating you." There's a photo of the kid on the screen. Harper told the Courier Mail in the line, "The national anthem, we for young and free, disregarded Aboriginals who had been living in Australia for tens of thousands of years and only saw Australia as a country post-colonisation." Jones was incensed by this and that colonisation brought the kinds of tremendous wealth that all Australians now enjoy. The school only exists because of colonisation. What sort of fools are those? Latham added. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson also weighed in on the 9-year-old's protest. Quote, here we have a kid who's been brainwashed. I tell you that what would have to give her a kick up the backside, Miss Hanson said on social media. Alright, so we'll read this whole article, and yeah, I'm a bit conflicted on this story, but let's keep going. I've been fighting for 22 years for equality for everyone, to be inclusive. What the hell is going on? I'm angry about this because I'm proud of this country. This diversity, I know what the other kids around are thinking, what this is coming from. Where is this coming from? The kid headed down the wrong path, and I blame her parents for encouraging this. No, take her out of the school. Despite the commentary, Harper has received a lot of support online. I do applaud her for a consideration in the words of the national anthem. A lot of people are rattled off and don't consider the meaning. I also applaud her strength of character and stand up for what she believes in. Today's show host Georgie Gardner said this morning. Meanwhile, her co-host Carl Stefanovic labelled blame the parents at the parents. Her parents are obviously supporting her, and I think it's the biggest problem here, where her parents are supporting her in a way I don't think is appropriate, Stefanovic said. The schools have rules. I'm exacerbated by this morning, so if you don't like that as a parent, I think that your children will have to go and stand for the anthem, then go somewhere else. The schools have rules they have to abide by. Alright, so, okay. What are your thoughts on this first?
I understand, and I mean, sometimes, you know, if you want to stand up for what you believe in, if you're wrong, everyone's going to laugh at you. So standing up for what you believe in is not really all that great, unless you're correct. In this case, she's incorrect. It's just social justice warrior behavior, brainwashed in by her parents, and everyone should just point and laugh.
Okay, so I agree this is her parents' influence. I seriously doubt this kid has come across this ideology on her own. I would be very surprised if the parents were not the central focus or the main reason behind this social justice warrior attitude. Definitely, yes, this is her parents. And if you look at the parents, you know, you get the tendist leftist vibe, you know, from what they look like, you know, like, yeah, okay, like, you know, yeah, he looks a bit like a better cuck, and, you know, you know, her mum's got the rainbow, you know, coloured necklace on, like they're hippies, and so look, at the end of the day, yeah, I would say this is definitely their parents have brainwashed the kid into this. However, while I do not agree with the child, and while I think what she is doing is disrespectful and I have a big problem with it, I support her right in not wanting to stand. Does that surprise you?
Well, freedom. Yeah, I guess I could agree with what you're saying, but with freedom of expression, speech, etc., there's also the freedom of consequences. And if you are going to do this, knowing that the rule of the school is to stand, and you don't want to, and you're wrong because, you know, she's wrong, yeah, I guess she can just get kicked out and go to a different school, you know? Yeah,
but at the end of the day, then we're starting to head down the very left totalitarian, authoritarian point of view. Look, at the end of the day, like I say, look, I disagree with what this kid is saying. I think this kid is so far off the track. You know, I'm a patriot. I love my country. I love my army. You know, I love my services. You know, at the end of the day, I think this kid should stand. We have literally had, including my family members, fight for this kid's right, whether to stand or not. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here in good judgment and say that this kid has to stand for the anthem, even though I disregard it or I hate what she's doing, and I think she's so far off the plantation, you know, or off, you know, off decency that it's ridiculous. She's wrong. Yeah, I get that. But I can't sit here in good faith and say this kid needs to stand. I would much rather take her down to Holsworthy or down to the Adfa, or take her to a war memorial, or take her to Gallipoli or something like that, and say to her, this is why you stand for the anthem. This is the people that have died for your right to stand or not stand. But this is,
the reason why that won't work is because the ideology of her parents would reject all of that and say that colonization, the fact that people went to war in other countries, etc., is all part of the problem. I've had arguments with people like this before. They will do this. Nothing will work.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, look, I would much rather try and put this kid on the quote right path, or what I would consider the right path, than just say, look, she's a waste. It's just a waste of time. It's not going to work. I would much rather try and not make a difference than not try and possibly make a difference. But at the
you have to do it through the parents, though, not the kid, unfortunately. And the parents
obviously the parents would have to agree to it because it'd be kidnapping. But I was going to say, but
maybe it's good for the kid.
Well, I was going to say get the kid away from the parents might help. But I was going to say, even if you had to take the family on a freaking holiday to Gallipoli or something, or take them over to the Kokoda Trail or something, this is this is what people fought for. People fought for your right to stand. And at the end of the day, I don't see a difference between us saying, you have to stand for this anthem, and then someone turning around saying, no, you're not allowed to stand for this anthem. I don't see the difference. It's just the opposite side of the spectrum. I would much rather people have the freedom of choice.
I see this like child abuse as well. Like, you've got two sides telling this kid what to do.
Yeah.
In two different things, and also like just looking at the photo of the kid as well and things. I can see a few different levels of child abuse, some of which I can't really touch on. But I mean, you heard me mention that earlier, so off air. And I just see that these are bad parents, just overall, just bad parents.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to go labeling them as bad parents, but look, I think that obviously the parents have an ideology. The parents have a point of view. Obviously, they're a typical leftist, family, blah, blah, blah. Look, do I agree with everything the parents are doing? No. At the end of the day, I think the kid should get out and play some sport. But, like I say, look, at the end of the day, the fact is that, look, I don't want to take away their choice to be able to stand for this anthem or not, because then we're no better than the other people on the other side of the spectrum. And this is where I disagree with Pauline. I disagree with Bolt. I don't know if Bolt's going to say anything, but with Alan Jones or whoever it may be, that no, I don't think we should be forcing this kid to stand for the anthem. I think this kid should be able to sit if she wants to. But that said, then she should be able to sit on her own and feel left out, which is also another thing too. But also the fact is that this kid's general belief is wrong. This kid's general belief is the fact that nobody, this verse doesn't inclusive all of Australia. Well, like they said, if it wasn't for colonization, this kid wouldn't be at this school. If it wasn't for colonization, because Aboriginals themselves, like Stephen Molyneux said in his speech when he came to Australia, were very conservative. They did not believe in changing the land at all. So these cities, these buildings and everything that we have right now wouldn't exist. They would still be walking around like they did 3,000 years ago. They would not have progressed because it was literally against their culture. So when this kid sits here and says, it's not inclusive of Australians, This kid needs to sit down with Stephen Molyneux and needs to hear some facts about the Aboriginal culture and how they carried on before colonisation, because she might realise that the colonisation, while it did a few bad things, it also did a lot of good for the Aboriginal culture as well. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. Look, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this kid should be standing for the national anthem? Do you agree with me when I say that we shouldn't be forcing this kid to stand, but you disagree with her right to do it? Do you think the kid should be expelled? Do you think she should be handed detention? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.